Hello and welcome back to another episode of FortressCraft Evolved. I'm DreadedEntity, and I have an enormous problem. As I left off on the end of the last episode when I revealed this, as actually when I noticed it. You guys don't think that I've been sitting on this. I really just kind of noticed that this has gotten out of control. And that's really the problem with a resin farm, right? Is that they do go out of control, and they go out of control very quickly. So, I mean, I had no idea even until I came over here. And, so here's the thing about the game too, right? I have to keep my resolution turned down pretty far, block distance. So that I can record well. You can say, I mean, even just that little bump, you can obviously see stuttering now as I'm looking around. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and turn that back down. But I came over here to record the intro and to inspect whatever the heck is going on here, and I found that it's actually growing very interestingly. How it's kind of like sprouted out of the ground in like this square pattern. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird and cool. And it's kind of like curling over. The way this stuff works, I believe, is it knows if it's missing blocks. And so merely by doing something about this, something extra, hopefully that means we're going to be starting to take care of it. But we'll see. I don't know. Now let's see. So what I want to do is kind of get down. I want to excavate this as quickly as I can and get lower. And I've already brought everything we need to do that. So I have an ablator, a liquefier, and to be powering this, we are going to have a Mark IV power storage block, one of those big ones, and we have a Mark II organic solar panel. So, let's see. Oh, look. Oh man, it literally just filled in a block right there. Okay, so we really got to do something about this. So the ablator lets us get at it, and then the liquefier will actually extract it. So, in order for this to run for the longest time, I'm gonna try putting some extra storage hoppers here. And this thing should be able to function just fine, like this, even though I want it to be shooting downwards. So, let's see. Okay. And then when I place this... Alright, now. This should immediately start going off. There we go. We're going. Okay. Now, just that solar panel, it should be enough on its own. Because both of these take 250 power per second. So that provides us with 540 power per second. So just those on its own should be enough for this to work. Okay, looks like we're filling the resin here. Does it spread? Oh, it does spread. Yes, yes, yes. That's awesome. Okay, so I doubt we're really going to use up 800 slots before I have to move this, is what I'm thinking. Because what I'm going to have to do is kind of like dig downwards with it. So here's how it's working now. And what I was trying to say earlier is I believe that merely by doing something about this and starting to dig this out, we should be able to get a handle on this, and it shouldn't really grow too much more out this way. I hope. But I could be wrong about that. Let me know in the comments what you think. And before we even get too far into this, I did think about this, and this is the way I wanted to go with it. Oh look, one group back. Look at that. That's weird. Yeah. Okay. But I did think about how I wanted to tackle this, and this is what I decided that I wanted to do, because I wanted to take the liquefied resin. I did not want to bomb this all out, even though that would have been a lot faster. I want the liquid resin. I want to take it all. Now, I mean, I might kind of get tired of this as we get further into it, and then at that point I'll probably decide, you know what, let me just bomb this. Did this little spine just grow like a lot right in front of me? I don't remember that being like that. But well, anyway, this is going to take a considerable amount of time, so let's let that get to work, and we will come check in on this in a little bit. Well guys, it's been a couple of minutes, like maybe right around 5 minutes since that first clip, and I was looking here at this little setup here. Let me turn my jetpack off. Oh wow, see, now we have 8 Minox. Oh god, that could definitely explain why. And this area here, it seems to be getting removed, like, it barely, if any. It seems to be getting removed faster than it grows. And I was looking at this little spine right here that I just noticed, and it definitely seems to be growing like pretty fast now, actually, now that I've got this little setup right here. So what I decided to do is try to unjam the machine a little bit, and the way that I'm going to do that is with these nano disintegrators. So I've gone ahead and made a whole bunch of them, and just because of the structure of this, I was able to go inside, and I was actually able to find my old ablators and liquefier like setups. And of course they were all solar powered, if you remember when we set that up a couple episodes back. So now that they are blocked, they no longer function. So my idea is, if we unblock them with the resin, then they'll start running again, and that should help anyway. It's obviously, it's not going to be perfect, but it should help. And then now also another thing I'm thinking about is that I need to get down there and actually deal with those extra Minox. So let's see if we can dig out down to our old liquefiers and stuff. Oh god, did you see that? Okay, so I managed to break into the underside of the hivemind. I kind of forgot what it was called there for a second. And I definitely seen some Minox here that we're not part of the plan. So this one I believe is the only Minox that should actually be here. These guys, no, they shouldn't be here. These are extras. So I'm gonna kill these guys. Maybe stay down here and keep them off. And then that's not even all of them either. Like there are apparently some other Minox. I don't really know what's like a good way to find them. I know that if you use the hollow base, it'll show like a little symbol. What's going on up there? Oh, can't mine. So if you use the hollow base, it'll show like a graphic whenever a Minox eats something. But it doesn't show where the Minox are. Like if I look at this one, it's telling me that there's a conveyor belt here, but it's not telling me there's a Minox on it. And I do actually want the Minox there because it's kind of hard to get them. Well, looks like I've certainly found the issue. There's a bunch of Minox here. And yeah, that's definitely a problem. So I just drop one of these turrets right there, then that should solve it. Maybe I can help the turret out too. There we go. Okay, that should. There's one more. There we go. Okay. Hopefully that puts an end to all of the stray Minox. And now that we're not feeding the hivemind anymore, we should be able to actually make some progress. So I accidentally forgot to start recording before I tore down the setup, but that little setup that I had here is finally finished. It's full 16 block range, and so this is what it looks like now. And I'm tearing it down because I'm moving it, and what I want to try to do is to unblock the sunlight from reaching this solar panel here, so that the bottom layer can continue working. Somehow, I guess there's a bug in the game where if the solar panel initializes and it sees that it's able to see the sun, it never seems to recalculate that ability. And so even though it's completely blocked now, it's still going. So kind of an exploit there. And we're just gonna move past that without thinking about it too hard, right? So where I'm gonna put it is exactly where I had these coordinates from earlier. If I can find that spot. What is it? -60. So gotta go this way. -60. There we go. Here we go. Awesome. So if I put the ablator right there. Alright, I'm just gonna build it. Okay, here's the new setup, and you can kind of see down here that I've almost got the hole uncovered. Unfortunately, this is the next day, so I have shut off the game and restarted it, so that solar panel down at the bottom will not be collecting until this actually gets free. So that's kind of unfortunate, but we're going to get there pretty soon. I just wanted to show off this clip just to show that I have moved this setup. By the way, guys, I'm not just sitting around doing nothing. What I've been doing is actually something that I've been putting off for a long time, and I'm glad that I finally had a chance to do it. Especially being able to get it done in the middle of an episode. That's even better. If you haven't noticed by now, I have been replacing the floor in the base with this wall. I don't know. It's a wall, but I've been using it as a floor, and it looks okay as a floor. But it's reinforced stone, so it's also a little stronger. And the real benefit is that you run faster while you're on it. So if I go over here to this old just regular stone, you'll be able to tell I slow down significantly when I'm on the stone. So I've been wanting to replace all of this stone for a very long time. Finally, I've had a chance to do it. So if I can kind of fly around the base now, and which we can do since I have a jetpack too. Yeah, I'm really happy with this, and I'm just about done. So then I'll probably start working on filling in the bottom of the base some more. I don't know, maybe it's not worth it, maybe it's just a waste of time, but it's something that I want to kind of work towards. So, yeah, oh, by the way, I'm not sure if I'm going to do this layer right below, which I've called the work floor. Not sure if I'm going to do it here. I don't know, we'll see. I guess it depends on how long it takes to take care of the hivemind and how bored I get while I'm waiting. Quick little update here, guys. We have freed the bottom setup here. which I guess I shouldn't say it's the bottom, because actually if you think about the structure of a hivemind farm, of a resin farm, that is actually the very top of it. So since we've come this far, I almost want to tear this down and maybe start working on opening up some of the chutes that go down, because just like this center hole, there are also, yeah, holes here that go down, and eventually we reach the solar panel. So actually, I'm definitely gonna do that. I'm definitely gonna tear this down and like rebuild it over here. And I'm definitely gonna offset it. Like, I'm actually gonna build it right here, because when it's time to tear it down, I don't want the blocks to fall on the hole. That would be pretty annoying. So let me get this done. Let me get this torn down and rebuilt, and then I'll just show you guys what it looks like. So I rebuilt this down here, and I kind of want to just explain how I'm going to do this, because I don't think I'm going to check in for a while. Probably not going to check in until I actually clear this little chute here. So one reason that I built this kind of offset is because when I tear it down, I don't want the pieces to drop in the hole. That's probably the biggest reason. But since it's offset, what that does allow me to do is to simply place a laser energy transmitter on the side, point it down like this Mark III, and I've got these exceptional organic lenses. So if I it does 350% of let's see, 320. So I mean, you multiply 320 by 3.5 times, then we're actually going to be moving even more power than this one solar panel can hold, which essentially means I can shoot that power downwards into any old power storage block. I guess it's going to be a tier 2 one, since I don't have a Mark III. And essentially I can just run the liquefier and the ablator off of that power storage block without having to move this entire setup. So that's really where the magic is. Yeah, so now that I've explained that, let's go clear this chute. I will see you guys later. So I'm back now, and I built a lot of stuff, and I've had the game running for about 4 days straight now. So, as I'm sure you guys have noticed, if you're in the Discord, by the way, join the Discord. There's going to be a link to that in the description below. And yeah, so if I just look around, and I mean, look, I didn't even get all of the resin, but I've gone as far as I want to go on this. So now I've cleared out the main chamber. It's all cleared out, and I'm happy with this. So there's this destruction left behind, and I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. I might try to fill some of it in, I don't know, or maybe I'll just block it over and just brick it up and forget it even looks like this back here. Time will tell. But as you guys can see, I've made tons and tons of these Mark IV power storage blocks, and I don't mind the investment there, because this can go to base defense now, with the solar panels on top, and then I can make some Mark IV, sorry, turrets, paste them on there, and all of this is going to base defense now. And while I'm thinking about it, I'm going to rebuild this. I don't like how spread out it is, because it has been a pain to clear this out. And so what I've decided to do is I've decided to bring in all of these setups, like this little liquefying and ablating station right there. you know, this one here, the one that I'm standing on top of, also one down there at the bottom. And I've decided to bring those in 5 blocks. And well, Dread, how did you arrive at that conclusion? So originally we decided to build the 16 blocks away because that's the max range here. The problem is, if things get out of control, we can't reach the corners of the room. And so if I move this 5 blocks in and we bring the range from 16 down to 11 on all sides, that will allow us to reach the corner of the room. And the way that I arrived there is, if you're familiar with trigonometry, you remember your trig, when you're dealing with circles, it's trig. And I'll put up just the calculations. I'll just type it into Google and I'll show it on screen now. But basically, if you take the sine at 45 degrees, which is like 0.707, something like that, and then if you multiply that by 16, then you get 11 and some change. It's like 11.3, something like that. And so what I've done then, if it's 11.3, then I just round down to 11. Okay, so we get 11 out of the original 16, so minus 5. And that's how we're going to be rebuilding this. I don't know if I'm going to do it right now or if I'll do it like in the half episode after this. I don't know, but also there's a lot of changes around in the world. So let me just take you guys around and show them off. So the first thing you'll notice is that I've extended the platform out. As you guys, if you don't remember, I wanted to flatten out the world at 0 depth. So all of this area is now paved, and if you look down here, it's all solid, filled in all of these blocks. I didn't use the paste builders for that, but I did use the paste builders to bust out this whole mountain over here, because I thought it was flatter than it actually is. So see how there's like still a mountain left here. But yeah, so now I have this giant area flattened for no reason. There's absolutely no reason for me to do that. And it gave me a crap load of extra construction paste. So now I've got 700,000 construction paste. Oh, and by the way, we are set probably for the rest of the game on refined liquid resin here. I got 22,500 now. Even without that resin farm ever working again now, I'm absolutely sure we've got enough to last the rest of the game. I hooked up the spider bot finally, so that's getting recharged now. I made all the weapons for the spider bot also, put them in there. Let's see, rebuilt that thing, just made it a little more compact. And over here, I've got basically all the research done, except for like this one. And it's funny because it actually took so long. That small titanium vein that we found has actually run out completely again. And that's with the plasma cutter heads too. Let's see, was that everything that I did? I think that was everything that I did. Let me just fly around. Yeah, I forgot to mention, I put down a bunch of these Mark IVs with solar panels on top and the turrets here. So each one of these things can support 5 turrets, and the way that I arrived at that number is, we actually look at it. So the turret has 400 power per shot, but it takes 4 seconds to reload, so if you just divide that by 4, you get 100 power per shot, or 100 power per second. And so since this thing, the organic solar, can supply 540 unplentiful power, then you get 5 turrets with a little bit left over, which is good because I don't know if you guys remember, but I have all these induction chargers here. And so the extra power just kind of gets dumped into the floor to help me power anything else here up on the surface. Oh, I also totally redid this little setup here, and it saved a lot of room. And I don't know why I didn't do this earlier, because now stuff's a lot cleaner around here, and it looks a lot nicer. Also, so here's like my backlog that I've got set up here, and you can see the storage hoppers go all the way out here. As I have the capability to store a couple thousand resin, and I actually forgot to collect this before I did my total. So let me grab those. And the reason I have this much is because, I mean, like I said, guys, I've had the game running literally for 4 days straight. And the last thing that I want is for my refined resin to back up, and then that stops, and it doesn't do anymore. Another thing that I've noticed is stuff starts to get weird when you've had the game running for so long. Let's see, where is it? Yeah, so out here, you can see like these gears, they have like the little outlines of like a cube underneath it. And the cube is like, just as an example, like the construction paste has like the cube. So put that in there. Like that kind of deal. And you can very clearly see that it's like rendered underneath like the gear for some reason. I don't know what's up with that. Stuff gets kind of weird when the game's been running for this long, I guess. And see, look, and you can even see this stuff in there. I don't know why, because you're not supposed to be able to see stuff inside of a room. Oh, yeah, and I also tore down all of the old defense setups because, I mean, they were just Mark II turrets, and honestly, they just weren't doing anything anymore. They're too weak. I mean, even though there was like 15 per side, something like that, but it just was nowhere near enough. If I look around now, and I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 Mark IV setup with 30 Mark III turrets on it. I mean, this puts out so much more damage. And I've still been losing every round too. Every attack, I've been losing it because all of the batteries that I've got set up over there to clear out the hivemind infestation, my threat level was at 20,000. It was maxed. So, okay, we got practice for the end of the game. And we are done. I know it looks like this was a really short process, but tell you guys the truth, 9 days has gone by since that last clip that you just saw, and I have been working on this constantly. But we're done now, and let me run through some changes here. So I brought everything closer in. The stuff is actually considerably closer, and on the bottom, I actually brought this so close that it's almost touching the hivemind. And the reason for that is because I didn't want stuff to take forever to scan. And then we're just comparing everything out. And actually, if you just look at this belt, we actually get really good throughput here. This is pretty much continuous. And I've cleaned up all of the resin, just like pretty much most of it. And it's all rebuilt, and this is all pretty much solid reinforced stone, like many layers in all directions deep. And the only reason I was even able to do that is because of the Paste Builder mod. Otherwise, this project was not going to be done. I wouldn't have. Just for the fact that we have so much liquefied, refined resin already, I don't even think that I'm ever... Like, I could probably shut this machine off right now, and we'd have all that we're ever going to need for the rest of the playthrough. So if I had to do this by hand, I probably wouldn't have even bothered, and I would have just continued on. Yeah. But anyway, so, I mean, this is really great now, and I think it looks pretty cool, honestly. So let me tell you the features of this. Let me show you how to do it right. So I'm actually really digging the electric lights here. And these all run off of the solar panels, so even if we lose a wave, we'll still get power in here and it won't be dark, which is going to be awesome. Then we're lasering power down from these large power storage banks down to the actual setup where we've got the liquefiers and ablators. And I realized we don't need the Mark IVs here. Just a Mark III is good enough as long as we laser down to it. And then we wired those up with conveyor belts to get the resin out. I actually built like a little model here on the wall and saw where the Minox spawn up to, and found out that this level is the lowest level that the Minox will spawn. They will not spawn. They will not spawn any higher than this. So if you look over here, originally I actually had this conveyor belt one block even lower, but then I couldn't walk under it, so I didn't like that. So so I built it one block higher. And if you'll notice, so originally where the belt was, it was literally the very next block up was where the belt was. So everything, all the conveyor belts here, Minox just cannot spawn here. If you look at it, it actually runs really fast. I'm really happy with the way this works now. Oh, and I've got this little shield, this ceiling shield right here, because the way the hive minds work is they will try to go around reinforced blocks, unless you like, if you like box it in, then eventually they'll break through. But if there's a free path, they will, the hive mind will prefer to grow just around whatever obstacle before busting through. So this should prevent any breakthroughs. And the setups are so much closer now that we actually get really good liquefaction speeds. Oh, another thing that's really, really important is I have actually decoupled the refining of the resin from the creation. So this is all getting sent back to the base, and I've got 8 refiners back there that's just gonna refine this as fast as it can. And now, how do we feed all this? Well, as you guys can see below, I've got a hive mind agitator, and I'll just throw up a quick little video of me finding and destroying the hive mind to get the brain so we could make that. And I just figured, you know, since I have the Adventures DLC now, that I might as well use this thing, because I've never used it before, and it turns out it's actually extremely easy to use. So I just have a laser up here, and that's literally it. That one block, originally it was just for the light, and then I added the laser on because I was like, hey, you know what, I could use this to power the farm as well. And that just goes down here. Oh, by the way, the glass is because these count as a reinforced block, and the resin, so the resin won't grow there. Because I actually did have an issue where one of these side lasers did have resin grow through it. I was like, yeah, that's definitely going to jam up. so luckily I remembered you can put glass down. Just right here I have another piece of glass, just keeps the resin from coming through. And yeah, there we go. This is a way better resin farm, and this is probably how I should have built it before. But the thing about something like this is that it's so grand in scale that unless you've actually done it once before and had big problems with it, you really don't know how to design it in the best way possible. So just spare no expense in your time, and that'll really pay off for you. Like how I'm not trying to refine the resin here on site. Just decouple it, just ship it back to the base and just deal with it there. This should just be a farm, as well as really move in these lasers, liquefiers and ablators. I mean, sorry. just really bring them in, because it really brings down the scan speed. And like, as you can see here, I mean, this is pretty much the perfect distance away. And let's see, let me just get a quick little count on this. Where are we going? From 67 to 76. 67 to 76. So it's what, 11 blocks? So 11 blocks is pretty optimal, because as you can see, the hive really doesn't even grow outside of that. But yeah, there we go. That's finally, this is built the way that it should be built. It shouldn't jam up at all, but what'll happen is this laser will feed the hive mind as much as it can until eventually the hive mind will block itself off from its food source, just like it has right here. And it'll just sit there in some kind of half-finished state until I basically start it all up again. And if I didn't want to wait that long and I just wanted to shut this off, you just turn that laser and be done with it. Probably the longest project of the entire series. It's taken like, gosh, almost a month to do this entire thing. But hope you guys learned something. Make sure you guys like the video if you liked the video. Dislike it if you didn't like it. Hopefully you did. Leave your comments for me down below. And get subscribed if you're not. And I will see you guys in the next one. Oh yeah, and I got a new titanium vein set up. And we are done. I know it looks like this was a really short process, but tell you guys the truth, 9 days is